Let me break. Ah. Hã? Eu fiz fora. Eu tô só chegando. Tá chegando. Tá preparando. Deixa eu morar. Olha,
We have faith in you. No.
The integral of this as it equals to this is equal to this. I sat there and I could not see my competition. This you.
Going first.
Hey,
Oh, your hair's done.
tá bem.
Alright, I'm gonna go.
I did like 2 seconds and I was like,
Depois, calma, senhor. Vou querer dar isso. Calma,
to go first? Fantastic. I'm sorry. What is that? Do you know what the goes for? Yeah, that's
It's right below this one.
go straight. When you see the water fountain, go straight.
Fit? If you want to watch, we're gonna be in here. If you don't have to,
But you do.
I'm just saying.
It is not the option you are going. We're professionals.
Okay. Can you guys take a speak for her? Wait, no,
Okay, like, what are you today?
So, Sandra's was and serious.
Wait, so I'm last?
All lecture. Lucky.
Excuse
So,
me,
Alexandra,
who's
go
up first next time?
I'm second. Lucky. Third. Salonia. Anita. That's great.
Oh, I'm so dead.
What? I haven't seen yours. How have I not seen yours? You've seen mine like 2 or 3 times, and I haven't.
I've just never been confident enough to perform in front of you. Yours was amazing. Newsflash!
Both of yours looks good.
I love how you just read that point.
Yeah, I made everyone. So far, I made everyone like.
You guys know how
Yes, you made guys.
Just keep pressing buttons. Keep pressing the buttons.
So this is.
You're good now. Don't worry.
Thank you.
We just pinned a note here. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Wait, what? Don't tell her.
No, just checking.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, there's like a.
You're on time.
Your boss already signed.
Oh, no, there's
No, I'm sorry. There's actually nothing.
Alex. Victoria starting. by the third time.
Who's what?
Oh, it's Jay.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's Jay. She touched me by the third
Oh,
time.
really?
And you feel judged.
So either she really likes yours or she really doesn't like yours.
And she touched me four times.
Dang.
And then if I get into finals and also in finals.
Then you just have to get better every time.
The last time I went.
Yeah, because you can't just like.
I messed up too. I was like, just keep talking. Pretend nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your teammate, what's her name? Monica? Her voices? What the heck?
Accents are amazing. So you know the one line in my script, she performed it like 17 times with all the different accents. And I'm like,
You should do every script every time. It's like. I think
Unfortunately, I
I have
can't
a
use
serious
accents
chance
in
of
this
placing.
She's in sixth grade. This little sixth grader sits down and I'm like, oh, she's in sixth grade. And she's like, oh my goodness. Like, what just came out of her mouth? Oh my word.
No, you have to do that.
Yeah, she's
Oh.
I agree.
It's so clear to like her American accent, and then, like you think she's gonna put on that accent for like the whole thing. No, she just slips back in her accent, slips back into the American accent, and then like the American accent as the father, the mother, the other person. I'm like,
I agree. I would see accent for everything. All the southern accent for the grandpa, for the station master, for the main character really. It's like I want to perform them differently. They're all the same.
He
Yeah.
performs really
my piece. There was okay. Look, there's this here. Oh, see this white section. Okay, this was a section that we cut for time, but it was like here there was like a teacher, so there was like this two sentences where I had a different voice. So of course she has my sections, but I don't have to speak a different accent. I was not born for that. Let's just say that.
It helps learning that language.
Great.
And if you if you learn language, then you can explain it.
I can speak Spanish
Oh yeah,
with like Spanish accent. But I'm not speaking.
I'm not saying serious. Do I? How am I saying you're saying serious or
I can speak English.
Right, where am I going?
I can speak
3-2. What is this? 3-2-6.
Yeah, here.
No. Yes, you're here.
This one.
You're getting lost.
Everything ready in there?
How are you?
Where
Do
is
we want
my?
this air conditioner on?
I don't know. It's there.
Does anybody not want the air conditioner on?
No, I want it. I want it. I
We
want
want to be frozen to death. Worry not.
You're too thin.
My air
You
conditioner.
just
Are you kidding? You live in India, for God's sake. Why do you have air conditioning?
Wait, so I'm You need air conditioning before India. Like,
What time is it
sit
right
out of
now?
your apartment. It's like a blast of like hot air and humidity.
Oh, honey, I know. I go there every year.
Why?
Because I live for my friend.
It's the mold.
The air of redemption.
I don't smell it.
I'm not sitting here. Sorry. It's going on. Sorry, Liam, I'm sorry. You're just having to suck it up. Where is the remote? Where's the air conditioner?
Here? No, that's
Johnny, where's the thing?
I literally have classes. How do I not know this?
Huh?
Class in this room every other day.
Yeah,
I don't know where the AC is. He hides it purposefully.
Also, the window's open, so there's no.
Like,
Okay,
it's like a giant wasp comes in.
The window is open.
Ah.
Okay, wait a minute. Is this serious?
Yes.
You need to take it down a notch. You're too happy right now. aren't you?
Don't worry, it'll change soon.
We know. It's like,
Okay.
Good reason.
I'm not ready.
In this piece, Cultures Clash, as the narrator, a Chinese American teenager grows frustrated at her younger classmate who refuses to talk to her. Why is the narrator so insistent? What does her bullying of the younger girl reveal about her own insecurities? The Girl Who Wouldn't Talk by Maxine Hong Kingston. going to talk, I said, my voice steady and normal, as it is when talking to the familiar, the weak, and the small. I am going to make you talk, you sissy girl. She stopped backing away and stood fixed. I looked into her face like I hated up close. She wore black bangs and her cheeks were pink and white. She was baby soft. I thought that I could put my thumb on her nose and push it bonelessly and indent her face. I could poke dimples in her cheeks. I could work her face around like dough. She stood still, and I did not want to look at her face anymore. I hated fragility. I reached up and took the fatty part of her cheek. Not dough, but meat, between my thumb and finger. This close, and I could see no pores. Talk, I said. Are you going to talk? Her skin was fleshy, like squid out of which the glassy blades of bones. I wanted tough skin, hard brown skin. I had calloused my hands. I had scratched dirt to blacken the nails, which I cut straight across to make stubby fingers. I gave her face a squeeze. Talk! When I let go, the pink rushed back into my white thumbprint on her skin. I walked around to her side. Talk! I shouted into the side of her head. I squeezed her other cheek. Are you? Huh? Are you going to talk? She tried to shake her head, but I had hold of her face. She had no muscles to jerk away. Her skin seemed to stretch. I giggled in horror. What if it came away in my hand? No. Huh? I said, rubbing the touch of her off my fingers. Say no, then, I said. Say no. She shook her head, her straight hair turning with her head, not swinging side to side like the pretty girls. She was so neat. Her neatness bothered me. Say hi, I said. Hi, like that. Say your name. Go ahead, say it. Or are you stupid? You're so stupid, you don't know your own name. Is that it? When I say, what's your name? You just blurt it out, okay? What's your name? I looked right at her. I know you talk, I said. I've heard you. Her eyebrows flew up. Something in those black eyes was startled, and I pursued it. I was walking past your house when you didn't know I was there. I heard you yell in English and in Chinese. You weren't just talking. You were shouting. You were saying, where are you? Say that again. Go ahead. Just the way you did at home. I yanked harder on the hair, but steadily, not jerking. I did not want to pull it out. Go ahead. Say, where are you? Say it loud enough for your sister to come. Call her. Make her come help you. Call her name. I'll stop when she comes, so call. And go ahead. She shook her head, her mouth curved down, crying. I could see her tiny white teeth, baby teeth. I wanted to grow big, strong, yellow teeth. You do have a tongue, I said, so use it. I pulled the hair at her temples, pulled the tears out of her eyes. Say ow, I said, just ow. Say let go. Go ahead, say it. I'll haunt you again if you don't say let me alone. Say leave me alone and I'll let you go. I will. I'll let you go if you say it. You can stop this anytime you want to, you know. All you have to do is tell me to stop. Just say stop. You're just asking for it, aren't you? You're just asking for another honk. Well then, I suppose I'll have to give you another honk. Say stop. But she didn't. I had to pull again and again. Sounds did come out of her mouth. Sobs, chokes, noises that were almost words. Snot ran out of her nose. She tried to wipe it on her hands, but there was too much of it. She used her sleeve. You're disgusting, I told her. Look at you, snot streaming down her nose, and you won't say a word to stop it. You're such a nothing. I moved behind her and pulled the hair growing out of her weak neck. I let go. I stood silent for a long time. Then I screamed, "Talk!" I would scare the words out of her. If she had had little bound feet, the toes twisted under the balls, I would have jumped up and landed on them. Crunch! Stomped on them with my iron shoes. She cried hard, sobbing aloud. "Cry, Mama," I said. "Come on, cry, Mama. Say, stop it." Far away, coming from the edge of town, I heard whistles blow. The cannery was changing shifts, letting out the afternoon people, and still we were here at school. It was a sad sound. Work done. There was lonelier after the sound died. "Why won't you talk?" I started to cry. What if I couldn't stop and everyone would want to know what happened? And now, look what you've done, I scolded. "You're going to pay for this. I want to know why. And you're going to tell me why. You don't see that I'm trying to help you out, do you? Do you want to be like this? Dumb. Do you know what dumb means? Your whole life? Don't you ever want to be a cheerleader? Or a pom-pom girl? What are you going to do for a living? Yeah, you're going to have to work because you can't be a housewife. Somebody has to marry you before you can be a housewife. And you are a plant. Do you know that? That's all you are if you don't talk. If you don't talk, you can't have a personality. You'll have no personality and no hair. You've got to let people know you have a personality and a brain. You think somebody's going to take care of you all your stupid life? You think you'll always have your big sister? You think somebody's going to marry you? Is that it? Well, you're not the type that gets dates, let alone gets married. Nobody's going to notice you. You have to talk for interviews. Speak right up in front of the boss. Don't you know that? You're so dumb. Why do I waste my time on you? Sniffling and snorting, I couldn't stop crying and talking at the same time. I kept wiping my nose on my arm, my sweater lost somewhere. Probably not warm because my mother said to wear a sweater. It seemed as if I had set my life in that basement, doing the worst thing I had yet done to another person. "I'm doing this for your own good," I said. "Don't you dare tell anyone I've been bad to you. Talk! Please talk."
My name is Shagun Agarwal. Today I will be performing The Telltale Heart. This is a short story written by Edgar Allan Poe. It's true. I have been ill. Very ill. But why do you say that I have lost control of my mind? That I'm mad. Can you not see that I have full control of my mind? Indeed, the illness only made my mind, my feelings, my senses stronger. My sense of hearing especially. I hear sounds I had never heard before. I hear sounds from heaven and sounds from hell. Listen, and I'll tell you how it happened. You'll see and hear how healthy my mind is. It is impossible to say how the idea first entered my head. There was no reason why I did. I did not hate the old man. I even loved him. I think it was his eye. His eye was like the eye of a vulture, the eye of one of those terrible birds that watch and wait while an animal dies and then falls upon the dead body and pulls it into his feet. When the old man looked at me with his vulture eye, a cold feeling went up and down my back. My blood became cold. So I finally decided I had to kill the old man and close that eye forever. So you think that I'm mad? A mad like I'm planned. Every night about 12 o'clock, I slowly opened his door. And when the door was open wide enough, I put my hand in and then my head. In my hand, I held the light covered over with the cloth. And I stood there, quietly. Then I lifted the cloth. A small light fell across my eye. For 7 nights I did this, every night at midnight. Although the eye was closed, so it was impossible for me to do the work. For it was not the old man I felt I had to kill, It was his evil eye. Every morning I went to his room and with a warm, friendly voice, I asked him how he had slept. He could not guess that every night I looked in at him as he slept. The eighth night I was more than usually careful. Never before have I felt so strongly my power. I was now sure of success. The old man was lying there. Suddenly he moved in his bed. Though I wasn't afraid, the darkness in his room was thick and black. I continued to push the door softly. Suddenly the old man sat up and cried, "Who's there?" I stood quite still for a whole hour. Neither did he lie down again. He just sat there, listening. Then I heard a low cry of fear from the old man. Now I knew that he was filled with fear. I knew that he knew that I was there. He did not see me, not hear me. He just felt me there. Now he knew that death was standing there. Slowly, little by little, I lifted the glove until a small light escaped from under it to fall upon that vulture eye. It was wide open, and my anger increased as it looked straight at me. I could not see the old man's face, only that eye, that hard, blue eye, and the blood in my body became like ice. Have I not told you that my hearing had become unusually strong? Now I could hear a quick, low, soft sound, like the sound of a clock heard through a wall. It was the beating of the old man's heart. I tried to stand quietly, but the sound grew louder. The old man's fear must have been great indeed, and as the sound grew louder, my anger became greater and more painful. There was more than anger. In the quiet night, in the dark silence of the bedroom, my anger became fear. For the heart was beating so loudly that I was sure someone must hear. The time had come. I rushed into the room crying, "Die! Die!" The old man gave a loud cry of fear as I fell upon him and held the bed cover tightly over his head. Still, his heart was beating, but I smiled as I felt that success was near. For many minutes that heart continued to beat, but at last the beating stopped. I took away the bedclothes and held my ear over his heart. There was no sound. Yes, he was dead. There is a stone. His eye would trouble me no more. So I'm mad, you say? You should have seen how careful I was to put the body where no one could find it. First I cut off his head, then the arms and the legs. I was careful not to let a single drop of blood fall on the floor. I pulled up three of the boards that formed the floor and put the pieces of the body there. Then I put the boards down again, so carefully that no human eye could see that they had been moved. As I finished this work, I heard that someone was at the door. It was now 4 o'clock in the morning, but still dark. I had no fear, however, as I went down to open the door. Three officers of the police were at the door. One of the neighbors had heard the old man's cry and had called the police. These three had come to ask questions and to search the house. I asked the policeman to come in. I said that the crime was my own, in a dream. The old man was awake. I took them through the whole house, telling them to search well. I led them finally into the old man's bedroom. As I played a game with them, I asked them to sit down and talk for a while. My easy, quiet manner made the policemen believe my story. So they sat, talking with me in a friendly way. Although I answered them in the same way, I wished that they would go. My head hurt and there was a strange sound in my ears. I talked more and faster. The sound became clearer. And still, they sat and talked. Suddenly, I knew that the sound was not in my ears. At that moment, I must have ever become quite right. I talked still, faster and louder, and the sound too became louder. It was a quick, low, soft sound, like the sound of a clock heard through a wall, a sound I knew well. Louder it became and louder. Why did the men not go? Louder, louder. I stood up and walked quickly around the room. I pushed my chair across the floor to cover that terrible sound. I talked even louder and still the men talked and smiled. Was it possible that they could not hear? No, they heard. I was certain of it. Now it was they who were playing a game with me. I was suffering more than I could bear from their smiles and that sound. Louder, louder, louder. Suddenly, I could bear it no longer. I pointed at the boards and cried, "Yes, yes, I killed him. Pull up the boards and you shall see. I killed him." But why does his heart not stop beating? Why does it not stop? Thank you.
name is Zooey Bugwetker, and I'll be reading a script from The Giver. This dystopian novel by Lois Lowry depicts a seemingly utopian community that abolished memories like suffering and death, resulting in superficial experiences without emotion. At 11, Jonas becomes the new prestigious receiver, the sole person who holds past memories. Mentored by the giver, the old receiver, Jonas starts recognizing the fallacies of the only community he and the society have ever known. One of these aspects is the euphemized practice of release. During one of the meetings with the giver, Jonas asked, "What happens when they make the actual release? I was only asking about release because my father's releasing a twin new child today. He has to select one and release the other one. They do it by weight. I think it was this morning." The release of a new child, which was troubling for the nurturers, who felt they had failed somehow. The celebratory release of the elderly for life well and fully lived. And for their transgression, release was a final, terrible, disgraceful punishment. The giver asked, "Do you want to see this morning's release?" As Jonas watched the screen, he wondered if there was someone waiting to receive the tiny released twin. For a moment, he felt a tiny fluttering hope that it would be Larsa, the old female he met earlier, waiting to receive the new child. He remembered her sparkling eyes, her soft voice, her low chuckle. Larissa had been released at a wonderful ceremony. Her life elsewhere would be quiet and serene, as befitted the old. Jonas could see a small windowless room on the screen, empty except for a bed, a table with some equipment on it, and a cupboard. "It's just an ordinary room. I thought maybe they'd have an auditorium so that everybody could come." Jonas's father, wearing his nurturing uniform, entered the room, cradling a tiny new child. A woman followed, carrying a second new child. "That's my father." The two nurturers laid the identical newborns on the bed, and gently lifted one, and then the other to the scale and weighed them. "Good. I thought for a moment that they might both weigh the same. Then we'd have a problem. But this one is 6 pounds even, so you can clean him up and dress him and take him over to the center. And you, little guy, you're only 5 pounds 10 ounces. A shrimp. That's the special voice he uses with Gabriel, the new child we care for." "Watch," the giver commanded. "Now he cleans him up and makes him comfy. He told me once." "Be quiet, Jonas. Watch." Jonas's father took out a syringe and a small bottle and began very carefully to direct the needle into the top of the new child's forehead. The newborn squirmed and wailed faintly. "Why is it shh? I know, it hurts, little guy, but I have to use a vein, and the veins in your arms are still too teeny weeny." "All done? That wasn't so bad, was it?" As he continued to watch, the new child, no longer crying, moved his arms and legs in a jerky motion. Then he went limp. His head fell to his side, his eyes half open. Then he was still. With an odd, shocked feeling, Jonas recognized the posture. He had seen it before, but he couldn't remember where. Jonas stared at the screen, waiting for something to happen. But nothing did. The little twin lay motionless. The memory that he received from the giver came back. Once again, he felt the choking sensation. Once again, he saw the face of the light-haired, bloodied soldier as life left his eyes. He stared at the screen numbly. His father opened a small door in the wall that looked like a chute into which trash was deposited at school. His father loaded the carton containing the body into the chute and gave it a shove. Oh, there you are, Jonas. You're wondering about release. Jonas felt a ripping sensation of terrible pain clawing its way forward to merge in a cry. He killed it! My father killed it! My father! My father! A nurturer! A killer? The giver went to the wall speaker and clicked the switch to on, to instruct the receptionist. Yes, receiver, how may I help you? Notify the new receiver's family unit that he'll be staying with me tonight for additional training. I will take care of that, sir. Thank you for your instructions. I will take care of that, sir. I will do what you like, sir. I will kill people, sir. Small newborn people? I'd be happy to kill them, sir. Thank you for your instructions, sir. How may I... Listen to me, Jonas. They can't help it. They know nothing. It's the way they live. It's the life that was created for them. It's the same life that you would have had if you had not been chosen as my successor. He lied to me! It's what he was told to do, and he knows nothing else. Release is always like that? They do that just to maintain the number of new children? For people who break the rules 3 times? For the old? Did they kill Larsa too? Yes, it's true. The community did not eliminate death. They brought it home. Thank you.
In this piece, as the narrator Iron, she struggles to come to terms with her relationship with her daughter Emily, the childhood illnesses, the separation anxiety, and Emily's missed potential. Here, she tries to reconcile the childhood Emily with the young woman she has now become. I Stand Here Ironing by Tilly Olson. I stand here ironing, and what you asked me moves tormented back and forth with the iron. I wish you would manage the time to come in and talk with me about your daughter. I'm sure you can help me understand her. She's a youngster who needs help, who I'm deeply interested in helping. Who needs help? Even if I came, what good would it do? You think because I am her mother I have a key? Or that in some way you could use me as a key? She has lived for 19 years. There's all that life that has happened outside of me. Beyond me. She was a beautiful baby. She blew shining bubbles of sound. She loved motion, loved light, loved color and texture and music. She would lie on the floor in her blue overalls, patting the surface so hard in ecstasy, her hands and feet would blur. She was a miracle to me. But when she was 8 months old, I had to leave her daytimes with the woman downstairs, to whom she was no miracle at all. She was 2, old enough for nursery school, they said, and I did not know then what I know now. The fatigue of the long day and the lacerations of group life in the kinds of nurseries that are only parking places for children. And even without knowing, I knew the teacher that was evil because all these years it had curdled into my memory. The little boy hunched in the corner, her rasp. Why aren't you outside? Because Alvin hits you? That's no reason. Go out, scaredy. I knew Emily hated it, even if she did not clutch and implore. Don't go, Mommy, like the other children. She always had a reason why we should stay home. Mama, you look sick. never a direct protest, never rebellion. The old man living in the back once said in his gentle way, "You should smile at Emily more when you look at her." What's in my face when I looked at her? I loved her. They were all acts of love. It was only with the others I remembered what he said, and it was the face of joy, not of care, tightness, or worry, when I turned to them. Too late for Emily. She does not smile easily. She had a new daddy now to learn to love, and I think perhaps it was a better time, except when we left her alone nights, telling ourselves she was old enough. "Can't you go some other time, Mommy? Like tomorrow? Will it just be a little while you'll be gone? Do you promise?" The time we came back, the front door open, the clock on the floor in the hall, she rigid and awake. "It wasn't just a little while. I didn't cry. 3 times I called you, just 3 times, and then I ran downstairs to open the door so you could come faster. The clock talked loud. I threw it away. It scared me when it talked." She said the clock talked loud again that night I went to the hospital to have Susan. Emily was delirious with the fever that comes before red measles, but she was fully conscious all the week I was gone, and the week after we were home when she could not come near the new baby or me. Emily did not get well. She stayed skeleton thin, not wanting to eat, and night after night she had nightmares. She would call for me, and I would rouse from exhaustion to sleepily call back. "You're all right, darling. Go to sleep. It's just a dream." And if she still called, in a sterner voice, "Now go to sleep, Emily. There's nothing to hurt you." Twice. Only twice. When I had to get up for Susan anyhow, I went in to sit with her. Now, when it is too late, I get up and go to her at once at her moan or restless stirring. "Are you awake, Emily? Can I get you something?" And the answer is always the same. "No, I'm all right. Go back to sleep, Mother." They persuaded me at the clinic to send her away to a convalescent home in the country where she can have the kind of food and care you can't manage for her, and you'll be free to concentrate on the new baby. There was a tiny girl who always stood hand in hand with Emily. One visit, she was gone. "They moved her to Rose Cottage!" "They don't let you love anybody here." It took us 8 months to get her released home, and only the fact that she gained back so little of her 7 lost pounds convinced the social worker. I used to try to hold her and love her when she came back, but her body would stay stiff, and after a while she'd push away. She ate little. Food sickened her, much of life too. Oh, she had physical lightness and brightness, twinkling by on skates, bouncing like a ball up and down over the jump rope, skimming over the hill. But these were momentary. School was a worry to her. She was not glib or quick, in a world where glibness and quickness are easily confused with ability to learn. To her overworked and exasperated teachers, she was an overconscientious, slow learner who kept trying to catch up and was absent entirely too often. I let her be absent, though sometimes the illness was imaginary. Sometimes, to make me laugh, or out of her despair, she would imitate happenings or types at school. I think I'd said once, "Why don't you do something like this in the school amateur show?" One morning, she phoned me at work, hardly understandable through the weeping. "Mother, I did it! I won! They gave me first prize, and they clapped, and they wouldn't let me go!" Now suddenly, she was somebody, and as imprisoned in her difference as she had been in anonymity. "Aren't you ever going to finish the ironing, Mother? Whistler painted his mother in a rocker. I'd have to paint mine standing over an ironing board." She has said it before, but because I have been dredging the past and all that compounds it, I cannot endure it tonight. I will never total it all. I will never come in to say she was a child seldom smiled at. She was dark and thin and foreign-looking in a world where the prestige went to blondness and curly hair and dimples. She was slow where glibness was prized. She was a child of anxious, not proud, love. There were years she did not want me to touch her. My wisdom came too late. Let her be. So all that is in her will not bloom. But in how many does it? There is still enough left to live by. Only help her to know that she is more than distress on the ironing board, helpless before the iron.
My name is James Greer, and today I'll be reading excerpts from Where the Red Tree Grows by Wilson Wallace. I suppose there's a time when practically every young boy's life is affected by that wonderful disease of puppy love. I don't mean the kind a boy has for the pretty little girl that lives down the road. I mean the real kind, the kind that has 4 small feet and a wiggly tail. Out there I was, sitting right in the middle of the finest hunting country in the world, and I didn't even have a coon dog. That's when I had given up all hope of ever owning a coon hound. Something wonderful happened. It all started one day when I was holding corn down in our field close to the river. Across the river, a party of fishermen had been camped for several days. They usually left all sorts of things behind. On that day, my life was changed because of that Sportsman's magazine. On the back pages of the magazine, I came to the for sale section. Dogs for sale. Every kind of dog. Far down in the right-hand corner, I found an ad that took my breath away. In small letters, it read, registered Bengal Coon Hound pups, $25 each. $50? How could I ever get $50? I knew I couldn't expect help from Mama and Papa, so there I was on the banks of the Illinois River, in the cool shade of the tall white sycamores. I asked God to help me get 2 hound pups. It wasn't much of a prayer, but it did come straight from my heart. All through that summer and the next, I worked with heart, courage, and determination to earn my money. My grandfather said he would order the pups for me if I earned the money. Finally, the day came. The long, hard grind was over. I had it, my $50. I cried as I counted it over and over. Grandpa was dumbfounded. He looked at me and then looked at the pile of coins. Where'd you get all this? I told you, Grandpa, I was saving my money so I could buy 2 hound pups, and I did. How long you been saving this? 2 years. 2 years? Well, son, it's your money. You work for it, and honestly, we're going to get you those dogs. A few weeks later, I had to travel to the Tahlequah, Kentucky depot to get my dogs. The county station master had walked me over to one of the boxes. Do you want a box and all? How are you going to carry them? I think they're a little too young to follow. Well, there they are. What do you think of them? I knelt down and gathered them in my arms. I buried my face between their wriggling bodies and cried. Well, there you are. Goodbye and happy hunting. I noticed the boy dog's muscles were knotted and wrinkled under his velvety skin. I saw right away he was bold and aggressive. The girl pup was small and timid. I didn't have to look twice to see what she lacked in power. She made up for in brains. I knew I had a wonderful combination. Months passed as Billy carefully trained Old Dan and Little Lamb. He taught his dogs every trick he knew and any new ones he'd heard about. It did not matter if they were on land or in the water. It was as if they could read Billy's mind. By coon hunting season, they were ready. Pelt after pelt, they worked as a pair and never forgot their training. Before long, Billy qualified for a coon hunting championship and won. Although the winning of the cups and the money was a big event in my life, it didn't change my hunting. I'd been hunting the river on tide for about 3 weeks. One night, I decided to go back to the Cyclone Timber Country. The dogs struck a trail on the other side of the ridge, and there, I saw them too, burning yellow eyes, staring at me from the shadowy foliage of the tree. I stopped, petrified with fear. The deep baying of Old Dan stopped, and the silence closed in. There was a low cough and a deep growl from the mountain lion. I saw him crouch. I knew it was coming. With a blood-curdling scream, he sprang from the tree with claws outspread and yellow fangs bared. Old Dan didn't wait, rearing up on his hind legs and met the lion in the air. The impact of the 2 bodies threw the lion off balance. Little Ed darted in. Her aim was true. I heard the snap for a steel trap like jaws as he closed on his throat. With a squall of pain and rage, the big cat rolled over on his side, dragging Little Lamb with him. His right paw reached over and curved over his shoulder. Screaming like a madman, with tears running down my face, I hacked and chopped at the big snarling mountain cat with my double-bladed axe. I tried to jump back, but my foot slipped, and I dropped to my knees. I knew I was trapped. With a terrified scream, he sprang. After I got up, I charged back into the fight. Soon my ass, but I was careful not to eat with my dogs. The big cat grabbed Little Dan by the throat. The little lamb fluttered cautiously to the wind, ran its severed teeth into the lion's tough neck. In the rays of the bright Ozark moon, I could see clearly, and brought my axe down with all the strength of my body. My aim was true. The heavy blade severed a sickening sound as it sliced its way through the bone and bristle. I shuddered into his body. He tried once again to scream. Blood gurgled in his throat. It was the end of the trail for the scourge of the mountains. It was silent and still. My dog was still glued to his lifeless body. I got to my feet and went over to my dogs. I knew I had to inspect them to see how badly they were hurt. It wasn't too hard to get Little Ann loose in that wound. I examined her body. She was cut in several places, but nothing fatal. The only bad wound was in her shoulder. It was different with Old Dan. He was a bloody mess. His long, velvety ears were shredded, and his entire body was a mass of deep, raw red wounds. On both sides of his rib carriage, the sharp claws that laid the flesh open to the bone. A razor-sharp claw ripped down on an angle right across his eye. I don't know how I'll ever pay you back for saving my life. I'll never forget. Come on, let's go home so I can take care of those wounds. Old Dan was lying on his side, pleading for help. What I saw was almost more than I could stand. There, tangled in the low branches of the huckleberry bush, were the entrails of my dog. His gasping cry. I knelt down by his side. Hang on, boy. Everything will be all right. I'll take care of you. I wrapped him in my sheepskin blanket and hurried home. Our wait wasn't long. My dog's breathing grew faster and faster. There was a terrible rattling in his throat. I knelt down and put his head in my lap. Please don't die, Dan. I said, don't leave me now. Old Dan must have known he was dying. Just before he drew one last sigh and a feeble thump in his tail. His friendly gray eyes closed forever. Thank you.
Are you crying?
Yes.
You cried?
Guys, those are great. I loved them. Thank you. That was really, really nice. Thank you, thank you. We will not let Saloni do serious anything anymore. She can't handle it.
No, it's that book always gets me.
I know.
Yes.
Of course,
my favorite.
everybody's read it. You have to read it. It's like an 8th grade book. Made you think? No, it's sad. I know. I still see the picture on the front.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't read 8th grade. I read.
It was like 6th grade, 8th grade, something like that.
No,
I didn't
I
read the
moved-
school. I just read it
I
on
was
my
in
own
3 different
accord.
schools from 6th grade to 8th grade, so
I had to read
I
it
think
every
I-
year.
no.
No, that happened to my son. He read, what is it, whatever they.
Tangerine.
No. The one that everybody has to read.
Huckleberry Finn.
No.
Hatchet?
No, the one where, the names are really, they represent the Curly and, you had to do it. Curly and then also like, his friend is not quite all there and he loves the mouse and he carries the mouse.
Oh, Mice and Men.
Thank you. Mice and Men.
I was thinking that.
He had to read that 3 years in a row because the first school had it in 8th grade, second school had it in 9th grade, had it in 10th grade.
I had
That's
to
a
do Miss
great-
J and then
I-
grade 6.
I know.
You put mine up there, I did that.
I think I like doing this better than comic, that's mine. This was more intense anyway.
Thank you.
I was screaming our eardrums out.
I know.
Okay, this is the only time where it's acceptable to scream at someone, so you gotta take advantage of it.
Yes, all those years of
Thank
pent up frustration, bye. Hi, can you next time to the next? I'm gonna finish the one I did before this, I gotta get a move on. Well, it's hard. Which one have you seen? Oh, you're runners. Oh, okay, let's see. I want a San Pellegrino with maybe a cold brew from Espresso Lab. And let's see, okay. I'm going this way, actually. No, I'll go this way.
it's called no code. I'm trying to process.
Oh, that guy. You have 3 billion books.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's pretty good too. Six. Okay. It's obviously not. Let check this. I knew it. It's in my problem room. I knew it's in my problem room.
Like right now, you can take, you have to take one serious activity, one common. So,
So good. It's like it's so intense to have to sit through like all of these really sad scenes. Okay, so you have to like exactly. We planned this very well.
Are you actually doing
no.
Are you not? What are you doing?
Tell her to.
I'll
I'm by the prison.
Are you gonna win for this?
Right after.
What is it? Yeah.
Because
If we were to go out, kids, no, this is not. Because, we were already planning.
Seven, yeah. That, just chilling.
I read downstairs. I wasn't reading. I was eating having
Downstairs first
Down
floor.
to flights and then
Why are you checking on here?